Thank you. Hi, everyone. I am not Dr. Michael Sacamano. I am Rebecca Pellandini. I teach orchestra at Bethel High School. Today has been a fantastic day. I wish we could have had them for multiple days and 12 hours because they've worked so hard in the few short hours we've had with them today. We're very, very, very excited to have Mr. Joe Divick as our middle school conductor. He is the orchestra director at Olympia High School. He also is a conductor for Tacoma Youth Symphony. And if you want more information about Tacoma Youth Symphony, we have it all. We have all the info. So he's a great guy, great conductor, great teacher, and he is going to come out shortly. I just wanted to say, look how great these middle schoolers look on stage. Can we give them a round of applause, please? And also, middle schoolers, I want to remind you that you're being live streamed right now. Live streamed. So don't forget to smile. Smile, smile. Also, your parents probably want to take pictures and, you know, they want to see you looking happy and having a good time. So I will stop talking and I'm going to have Mr. Joe Divick come out and lead the Bethel School District Middle School Honors Orchestra.
quick set change here. I just want to say a quick thank you for having me. It was a very fast-paced afternoon. Speaks well of these children, of how they just let me come in and work them really hard, have a few laughs, mainly me laughing, and just working really hard on these pieces, and hopefully they take those ideas back to their classes and continue some great music making. Like Ms. Pellandini said, I work with Tacoma Youth Symphony Association. We invite you to check out our website where we have lots of summer camp opportunities, both day camp and overnight camp for people that are going into 9th grade or older. So feel free to check that out. Here's our last selection, and thanks again.
We give them another round of applause. How great was that? I know that I'm not alone when I say this, but with all the orchestra teachers, we are so incredibly excited for just the future of our high school orchestras based off of what we just heard just now. It's pretty impressive. You all should be very proud of all the work you did today, and be good leaders when you go back to school. Be good leaders for the rest of the year, even though that's only like 4 days, right? But then next year, keep being leaders. When you get to high school, keep being leaders. We're all very proud of you. Okay. We're going to take we got to do a little set change really fast before we get the high schoolers on. Middle schoolers, you are going to leave the stage that way. And cellos and basses, you can line them against this wall back here. You can take them, if you want, to take it back to the other building and put them, the other room and put them in the cases. But everybody else, we're all going to be back here, and we're going to sit in that back middle section in seats and watch the high schoolers perform. Does that make sense? So you'll go that way. High schoolers, you will go this way and enter the stage that way in cellos and basses. Get your cellos and basses, and we'll make this change. Give us a few minutes. Thank you so much. Great job, middle schoolers. Make sure you grab your music, grab your rock stops, your straps. Good job. Okay, middle schoolers, come on in and have a seat in the middle section in the back. Let's go, let's go. While they're doing that, I wanted to make a really huge thank you to Pierce College Puyallup and this beautiful building. They have offered this space and their time and resources for free. And if you know anything about how things work, that is a huge deal. That is a huge deal for us. So can we just give Pierce College Puyallup a round of applause for just everything they've done? As some of you may or may not know, Pierce College Puyallup has a AA in music. And when your children are in high school and they decide maybe they want to do Running Start, they can get an AA in music and a high school diploma at the same time if they're willing to do the work. So I just want to make a plug for this school. And even if your child doesn't want to do an AA in music per se, they just want an AA in something else, they can always play in the Pierce College Orchestra, meets on Monday nights. They don't have to be a music major. They can just play in the orchestra on Monday nights in addition to school orchestra. So I want to introduce our high school, our Bethel School District High School Honors Orchestra Conductor, and that is Mr. Dr. Joey Scott. He is the orchestra conductor and band director here at Pierce College Puyallup, and he is just a fantastic guy, and he's worked so hard with our kids today. And like I said, with the middle schoolers, they literally rehearsed for, 2 hours, and then they had a sectional, and they had some breaks, they had pizza, and really, in the amount of time that they had today, they sound pretty fantastic. So I'm going to let Mr. Dr. Joey Scott come out here, and I'm going to introduce him, and please give him a round of applause, and you're going to hear fantastic high school orchestra.
Thank you so much, and good evening. And welcome to Pierce College. We're so thrilled to be able to host Bethel School District this evening and work with these fine musicians, both from the middle school honor group and the high school students standing or sitting on stage in front of us. We started this evening's program with a fairly famous work by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart back in the 1787 or so is when that piece was written. Each of our four selections sort of chronologically moves forward in time. So we're going to move into the 1800s now with a Strauss polka, and you'll see a not necessarily unusual technique, but a fun technique that all of our players on stage will demonstrate for you. We hope you enjoy Strauss Jr.'s Pizzicato Polka. Our next piece for you this evening is entitled Andante Festivo, and it's by the Finnish composer Sibelius. And he wrote this in the early 1920s, and this was around the advent of radio and music being broadcast over radio. And what early recordings discovered is that not everything really sounded good over the radio. The woodwinds and the brass were often too high, too sharp, too loud, and it didn't really translate to the portable speakers that people had at home or in their family rooms. And so Sibelius thought, what if I wrote a piece for strings that would be perfect to be played over the radio? So he was quite an entrepreneur, and we hope you enjoy sort of the lush, majestic melodies and the flowing harmonies of Andante Festivo. Thank you so much. Our last selection for you this evening is by the American composer Aaron Copland, and this is from his ballet Rodeo. It's from 1942, so we finally made it almost into the 21st century. This is called the Hoedown, and if it makes you want to move a little, feel free to do so. It has been such a joy and a privilege to work with these fine young leaders on stage today. As my colleague earlier mentioned from the middle school honor group, it's a really condensed amount of rehearsal time. I think we had 3 or 4 hours, 3 maybe max, to put this music together. And these are students from all across the district, all different high schools. And for them to come together on a day like today, and some of them missed their senior awards ceremony to be here today, is really special. And I believe speaks to just how wonderful of a future we have ahead of us with young leaders like the ones you see on stage. Leaders who are listeners, who can communicate, can be empathetic, can be passionate. And I've just had such a pleasure working with all of them and working with all of the wonderful teachers from Bethel District today. Can we give a round of applause to all the outstanding teachers from the district? Thank you, teachers. Your students are a true reflection of who you are and your great instruction. We hope you enjoy Aaron Copland's Rodeo. Hoedown from Rodeo. Thank you all so much. We hope you have a wonderful evening. The Pierce College Orchestra and Band will be performing this Saturday in this theater at 3:30. It's a free concert. We would love to see you all there. Thank you. On two sides. You're going to do this side, and we're going to do this side. So, here we go. Violas, cellos, basses.